how to handle it now that it's here. What's the key?
There's no there's no secret to it. There's no secret ingredient to it. It's just a matter of, am I going to learn from it and am I going to get better from it? I said this before and I'll say it again. There's no difference between, the joys and the pains, the wins and the losses. It's just a matter of if you learn from it. And I think that's the perspective that I have on this. Good, bad, or indifferent. We're going to learn from it. And our goal out there is to go out there and play dominant football and win football games.
Let me talk my shit again. What it do, what it do, what it do. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your more humbly than hostile host, Cassius Cliff. It's week 3. We got the Saints in New Orleans, and do not make any mistake about this. And really, before we get into any of this content, I appreciate all y'all that have liked, shared, subscribed, that have commented. It goes a long way. Continue to do that. Thank you again. This is about to be a tough one. This is going to be a test that is not by any stretch of imagination going to be a light one. This is going to be a tough one purely because of who we're going against, the environment we're going in, and even given the fact, if you look at the injury report, yes, A.J. Brown is out again this week. And even though C.J. Gardner-Johnson's on there, it looks like he's actually going to be playing. So that's big. That's huge, given that our DB room is already lackluster. It already ain't great. And you cannot afford to lose a guy like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who absolutely is a dog when it comes to that defensive back room and this entire defense. You need guys with that kind of attitude out there, and you can't afford to lose them, especially given the fact that you just lost a close game at home against the Falcons. And the Saints are absolutely rolling. I mean, these guys have put up 91 points, allowed only 29. It is looking spooky for people that are running into the New Orleans Saints, and it ain't going to be any different for us. So let's not even waste any more time. Let's go and get into the content and really some clips to look at and really some players to look at when it comes to who's going to be effective and who has on this game. If you don't know the name, know it now. Alvin Kamara is absolutely a dog. I mean, yes, he's 29 years old, the same age as Zeke. They look like night and day when it comes to how they play the game, their effectiveness. And really, I've never seen a running back with that kind of frame have that kind of strength, speed, and balance like an Alvin Kamara, because Alvin Kamara is just a different breed from college. And really, since he's been in the NFL, this is a guy that I've seen have big games, and it just looks like he's not trying his hardest, bro. Like, I mean, the dude, he's just that nice. And obviously, having a great mind in Clint Kubiak, them boys are rolling. Again, 92 points in 2 games. That shit ain't easy. It don't matter who you playing. Obviously, you see them, they rolled the Cowboys in their house last week, but did the very same thing against the Carolina Panthers. Everybody knows the Carolina Panthers is not a good team. But again, Clint Kubiak, this offense, this running game, and even their passing game, they're just clicking on all cylinders. And if you really want to look at Alvin Kamara and what he is in a nutshell, this play right here, I think perfectly encapsulates Alvin Kamara in a nutshell. I mean, this is a guy who, it looked like he just broke, 10 tackles. He's running half speed, and he's looking back because it's just that easy and effortless for this guy. And really, when you think about it, he's not the only one we need to worry about, even though I think he's going to absolutely have the biggest impact on their offense and on this game. Shaheed, obviously, that boy ain't no joke neither. Yeah, he may be only able to run like a couple routes, but him being a too high safety very easily, that's something to worry about, given that our pass defense just ain't great. It's not the worst, but it ain't great. And given you got a guy like Shaheed who has wheels, who can just get behind any too high safety, you got to be prepared for that. And if this run game is rolling for them, best believe that play action pass is coming, and it's going to be coming quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, obviously, their offense is putting up a lot of points, but I think that has a lot to do with this defense and them setting the tone early and really making their presence felt when it comes to the run game and really the pass game. Because obviously, with the offense scoring a lot of points, that just absolutely shuts down the run game for the opponent. But they're only allowing 63 yards on the ground in 2 games. And really, the pass defense ain't bad and ain't nothing to sneeze at either. Because they still got Marshawn Lattimore. Them safeties are playing tough football. They're not letting anybody get anything easy on them. And really, you got to respect that. Given that this is a team that a lot of people didn't expect to not only win the division, I don't think anybody expected them to win double-digit games. And they look like to be one of the best, if not the best team in the league. Obviously, it's a very early reaction and overreaction possibly. But within 2 weeks, they look like the juggernauts, not only of the NFC, but of the NFL. And having a team like the Philadelphia Eagles that seems to make things harder than it needs to be on themselves week in and week out, and losing like that last week the way that we did, this absolutely is going to be a problem for us. And it's going to be a tall order for this team to step up again without A.J. Brown. And going against the defense is just absolutely stingy and just not letting you move the way you want to play. Obviously, you see that the Cowboys, they had a great showing that week 1 against the Cleveland Browns, who I think is not a great team. But they absolutely shut down their game plan early when it came to what Dallas wanted to do and what they were able to do. I mean, their best player, CeeDee Lamb, was pretty much a no-show outside of that one catch where he made a spectacular play, catching in between 2 guys, dipping under that tackle and going to the house. Outside of that, these guys were non-existent on the offensive side. Run game, obviously being down early, you ain't finna run the ball. But Dallas's run game is not a lot to talk about anyway. But they made sure they was not gonna see that shit this game, and you gotta respect it because again, the Saints are the Saints, and they look to be like they're gonna be a tough out, and they're not playing any games with anybody this season. So that being said, we're gonna have to run the ball. We're gonna have to lean on Saquon early and often, and really Dallas Goedert with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, you're gonna have to call one of his best games, if not his best game thus far. And this defense is just not gonna give us a lot of opportunities to make big plays. It's just not gonna happen. We're gonna have to, be methodical and really be mindful of how we want to move the ball and really how we want to set up, say, the passing game or even, the tight end game, because they're gonna try to dictate and they're not gonna give us a lot of opportunities just to do what we do best, which is big plays and really do what we do best, which is big plays and really being able to set the tone with the running game. That being said, bro, this is, again, I don't know. I'm gonna say it like this though. Obviously, we don't fold for anybody. We talk our shit. We call it as it is, and we're always confident in our team and what we could do. But given that last week's loss, without one of our best players in A.J. Brown, and we're without him again, even C.J. being out there, clearly not 100%. I'm actually low-key a little iffy on that. I would rather him sit versus getting hurt, given that we have an early bye, which seems to be a blessing in disguise, having our early bye this season. If we allow Derek Carr to have zero pressure, we're going to get blown out in New Orleans. I have no doubt about that. I mean, the fact that we were having a tough game against the Falcons where, yes, they were able to run the ball, but when it came to the passing game, that didn't really kick off until the second half. We were doing a lot of good things defensively, but we cannot apply pressure on anybody. I mean, that shit is really frustrating to watch. Guys just pack the ball back there in the pocket and just methodically go across the field and read the defense. The DBs can do but so much when it comes to not having any pressure. It doesn't matter what DB you have. They can't cover one of the best, if not great receivers for 5 seconds. That's just not without holding them, not without committing penalties. It's just not set up for that way. That's not how the game is geared. It's geared for the offenses to thrive and to succeed. And you just can't do a lot of things when it comes to playing defense. So if you can apply pressure, that's your best chance in order to actually have some kind of impact when it comes to defense and really throwing the other team off their game. Because if they're allowed to play the game the way they want to, they about to put up another 40 burger on us, and we're going to be screaming for this bye to come by, and for us to have AJ back in this offense, because it's going to be spooky for us, and it's not even October. So let's not be confused about what we have going against today in New Orleans Saints. It's going to be a tough one, and though I feel like it's going to be a tough one, I still feel we can pull this out if we lean heavily on the run game. We incorporate Dallas Goedert as well as everybody else in terms of the passing game. And we can pull this out 27-24 if we're doing those things. And obviously, if we don't turn the ball over. That is huge for this game, purely because that defense is going to be screaming and ready to, to pounce on Jalen Hurts and really just try to throw us off our entire game. And we just can't afford that. We can't afford to lose this game. And really, we can't afford to go out like that, given that we have a huge opportunity again to secure the lead in this division and really right the ship going into the bye and having all our guys back. It is imperative that we do that, and we don't have a lot of time because it's about to be 1 o'clock, and hey, it's game time. We're the Philadelphia Eagles, and we have to show up if we have any intention of making it to the playoffs and actually making noise in this playoffs, because it looks like the Saints are going to be there, and they're not going to be an easy out. So with that being said, I do predict we have a low probability chance of pulling this out, but if we do not put any pressure on Derek Carr, book it and just wait for this shit to be over, because it's going to be a long game, and it's not going to be enjoyable to watch at all. That being said, again, prediction 27-24 Philly, nail biter. But again, if Derek Carr's doing this shit, just go ahead and pack it up. It's over, and circle back next week, because it's going to be a problem, and we can't handle that. Not with that DB room, not with those linebackers. It's just not going to happen. So again, I appreciate y'all tapping in. Please continue to like, share, subscribe. It goes a long way. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. Hopefully, I'm more hostile than humble the next time I see you. We out. Peace.